Hi everybody, this is the Baseball, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, and it was three games in a row the Mets have taken now from the Yankees in this Subway Series, and this was probably the most entertaining. To see Aaron Judge, strike out in the ninth inning against Jake Diekman of all people. Jake Diekman has pitched so poorly, but he gutted it out, boy, and he made great pitches against Aaron Judge, I must say. Now, before we get into this video, it's a very different channel than the other channels. I talk more very down to earth, don't care what I say. And if you're not on X, you're not on, of course, it used to be Twitter and Facebook and anywhere else, hit that subscribe button. We're getting less than a week away from the trade deadline. We're going to have all kinds of shows here. We're going to have live shows coming up. It's kind of late now. I didn't feel like doing it tonight, but there'll be plenty of shows. Monday's going to be a big show. Tuesday, we're going to have a lot of big shows. And a big show on Sunday as well, Sunday night. Monday, during the day, in the afternoon, after the game, in the morning on Tuesday, and of course on right before game time and before the deadline on Tuesday. But the Mets have lost. They split 2 out of 2. 4 games. I'll get it right. It was just such an exciting game tonight. But the Mets split the first 4 games of the second half against the Marlins. Now, the offense has been very quiet since they came back. They lost the last game before the All-Star break. And now they played this game tonight. They would have lost this would have been a very difficult loss, I will say. But like Luis Severino said about a week ago, the Yankees really only have 2 hitters in their lineup. And he's right. Let's be totally honest. This is not a great lineup. The fact that they've won as much as they have, they've just bludgeoned teams. Soto and Horseface have bludgeoned them, all the opponents, but against the Mets, they haven't done that. At least they didn't do this tonight. This is a very impressive game for the Mets because they didn't have Edwin Diaz in this game. Carlos Mendoza went completely with the bullpen tonight. And he threw 6 pitchers out on that mound tonight, aside from Jose Quintana. Jose Quintana had an interesting night because he basically walked Aaron Judge every time he came up. He made it a point. The Mets walked him 4 times tonight. And really, that's why the Mets had such a high walk total tonight. They were very careful. Mets made a point of not letting him beat them, and he's beaten the Mets a lot. He's had a lot of home runs for the last 4 games prior to tonight. Horseface hit a home run against the Mets. And I think 7 out of the last 8 times the Mets have faced him, he's, sent his shadow out. Well, anyway. So Quintana pitched very professional game. That's what we call pros pro. He did give up a home run early in the game, but that's all right. Then they brought in Adam Ottavino, who makes us all nervous. But then the new acquisition, Alex Young, came in, shut the door down in the 6th inning. And the Daniel Nunez had a very adventurous kind of 7th inning. Pete made a great play in the field, and he threw it to Nunez. Nunez dropped the ball. Then later on in that inning, he gave a long fly ball to Ben Rice, and Ben Rice, anywhere else that would have been out. But he hit it to the deepest part of Yankee Stadium, which has always been left center field, and Bader made a great play on it. And that was really the first key at bat in this game, because once Bader made that play and that ball didn't go out, the momentum for the Yankees was kind of going their way, and then all of a sudden that was it. Then they went to Mayton, and he pitched pretty good, aside from the walk. And then Diekman scared the hell out of us tonight. But like I said, that 5-pitch at bat to Aaron Judge, really, he got ahead in the count. Then and very aggressive at bat. I gotta say, they kept going in. They didn't throw anything, really 1 pitch that was out over the plate. And now it's the 3rd pitch to Judge and Judge fouled it off to the right side, to the left side, on the right side, excuse me. And that set up the whole at bat. And then he threw the ball inside to Judge. Fastball was off the plate. Then he went back in there. That's very gutty calling by Torrens. And again, Torrens is shown to be one of the best backup catchers in baseball, because that is a gutty call against a great player. And the fact that the Mets were able to sort of squeeze out of that ninth inning, And then, of course, he got the last out, Diekman. But this was a big game for the Mets, obviously, because the Mets are trying to play really well, but going into the break, everybody, and I've said this before, every team in Major League Baseball, all the players, all the teams, well, maybe not the teams, but the fans, people online think the Mets are like our farm team. So they want the Mets to trade everybody so they could help their team. Well, that's not going to happen. The Mets have played really well overall. This was a big win. I can't tell you. This was a huge win. Now, tomorrow they play them again, but the pitching was really quite interesting, especially in that ninth inning. The sequence to Judge was huge, folks, huge. So really give kudos to Carlos Mendoza, because he really navigated this line. If anybody knows how to pitch to this lineup and pitch to Aaron Judge, that's the guy that would know how to do that. And they were so aggressive in that last at bat, and they basically pitched around them all night. And you got to be a very patient hitter going into that ninth, and he must have been on edge, probably more than usual. Horses do get spooked, So maybe he was spooked in that ninth inning, probably a little over anxious because he didn't really get a chance to really do any damage against the Mets. The Mets basically pitched around him all night until that ninth inning. It was total opposite in this game. Whole game pitched around to the ninth inning. Then they were really super aggressive. Great calling by the catcher, and really very gutty. But let me just go through the lineup a little bit. Obviously, the big offensive star tonight was Jeff McNeil. All of a sudden, Jeff McNeil, boom, his power has come back. And I like what he said, that he's not looking to make contact now. He's looking to hit the ball hard. And he's hit the ball much, much harder now over the last 4 or 5 games. He's looked much, much better. His contact is much better. He's making contacts in the ball out of the ballpark again, which is great to see. He's got 4 home runs since the beginning of the second half. And again, he's had 8 RBIs, folks. 8 RBIs in the last 4 games to go with his 4 home runs. He had 2 RBIs tonight and a walk. Big offensive star in the game. Francisco Lindor went 1 for 4. JD Martinez, even though he had an 0 for tonight, he hit the ball pretty hard in a couple of bats. Pete Alonso went 2 for 4. That's great to see. Got to get his power back. Marvino's had a big double in this game. I will say this about the offense. They tried to give the Yankees this game. The Met offense has been pretty sort of in a brownout the last 5-6 games. But the Yankee offense is just pathetic. Really, the Yankee offense is pathetic, quite frankly. And how they are 60-43 is beyond me. But it really just tells me about how they get big performances from a couple of their pitchers. And now Gil, he pitched pretty good against the Mets. And then they went to Michael Tonkin, and everybody's sort of been mad about the Mets losing Tonkin to the Yankees. Well, the Mets beat up on him tonight. Jeff McNeil took him deep, and he got the loss tonight. I'm sure that shut up a lot of anti-Met fans tonight, like that skunk Frank Fleming. But the Mets had a fun win, and like I said, how are the Yankees 60-43? How are they able to have that kind of a record with so many holes in this lineup? You had Jones Jamil Jones batting leadoff as a DH. You had J.D. Davis. J.D. Davis hadn't played in a month, folks, for the Yankees. The last time he played was against the Mets. He's had 15 at-bats in the past month. You talk about dead weight? Why is he on the Yankees? This is a Mets channel, but this is pathetic from the Yankees. Ben Rice, I know he had that big game where he hit 3 home runs. He hit 196. Volpe, you got Anthony Volpe, who was basically a speed guy, a guy that should be batting lower in the lineup, 8th or 9th, and he's batting 5th. Just looking at his numbers, his OPS is 689. That's pathetic. And Gleyber Torres, can he make a tag? Can that guy make a tag? Because he missed the tag on Mark Vientos late in the game. You know, I mean, you got Narvaez, Carlos Narvaez catching. Austin Wells, just a terrible lineup. And DJ LeMay is way past his prime. He should retire. Let's be honest. He should retire. But that's not my problem, and that's not your problem. That's all your Yankees fans' problems, your family members, that's their problems. That's not our problems. We have enough problems with the bullpen. You know, but this was a fun game tonight. It was very on the edge. You'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll be getting home back to the hut tomorrow and, quite frankly, on Thursday. So I'll try to get video. I got plenty of videos out there for you tomorrow. I got one for 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Basically going over what happened today. A lot of stuff happened today with the Mets. And I'm sure there'll be more stuff happening tomorrow. We're getting close to the trade deadline. It's been very quiet so far, but they said that it's going to be very busy. Word is that the Mets aren't going to be doing any big moves, but moves that they need to make that'll help them. They need bullpen help. They need another lefty in this bullpen. They need a setup man. I know that they've talked a lot to the Angels about Carlos Estevez. They were a little short in the bullpen tonight because Edwin Diaz wasn't in the bullpen tonight available. And they could use another bat in that outfit. Gamble and DJ Stewart aren't going to cut it. Sorry. And I know they signed Jackie Bradley Jr. He's not going to cut it either. That's a death piece in case Harrison Bader gets hurt or Tyrone Taylor gets hurt. He's not going to cut it because he can't hit at this point in his career. I know he hit great with the Ducks, but he's not going to cut it. I've seen a better player that they could put in there. I've heard, and this is one of my subs, a Prodigy told me that, wrote to me, said that a couple of guys to keep an eye on for the Mets. There's the Cubs, there's 2 Cubs players, Mike Tauchman and Drew Smiley, the lefty. Those are the 2 guys to keep an eye on. The Mets will not have to give up a lot. I thought those are 2 interesting names to discuss. But the Mets certainly need another bat in this lineup that is much better than DJ Stewart. And it's interesting that they did not go to Stewart or Alvarez in that 8th inning, I think. It's the 8th inning, right? The Mets had the bases loaded. And Torrens, and Mendoza used Torrens and Taylor, and he didn't bring in Alvarez or Stewart. Or Gamble, for that matter. So he didn't go to any of these guys for those 2 at-bats. So Mets need somebody better on this batch. That this guy's going to give you a professional at-bat late in the game. He's going to get a big hit late in the game. Stewart's not going to do it, and Gamble's not going to do it either. That's my feeling on the whole thing. Well, again, this is right now I'm doing so many videos now on so many things about the Mets. There's so much going on, folks, as you know. This is the channel you want to subscribe to because I got everything. I'm doing everything on here. Okay, and I made that decision a few weeks ago, and so many people have been coming on. So many different new subscribers here. Want to get the 5,000. We're going to get the 5,000 very quickly. We're getting awfully close. We're a little over 100 now. So I want to thank you for coming by. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you, and I'll see you later.